Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Chaosville with me, your host, Chaos Giga. In today's episode, we are going to start working on our honey farm. Obviously there are a lot of uses for honey blocks, which I have not utilized yet. My brother, however, seems to have some experience with making some seriously large stacking doors or gates utilizing honey blocks. I have used honey blocks for preventing fall, or fast falls, which lead to death, basically. So, yes, if you didn't know, honey blocks can break falls, well, at least slow a fall, and you can use them in succession with slime blocks to make some pretty neat inventions. So I'm hoping to experiment a little bit more with them to see what we can do with them later on. But for now, let's go ahead and start designing this honey farm. There is one object I still don't have, which I should probably work on, and that's flowers, but I will worry about that after we start with the build. I was at first planning on building this honey farm outside somewhere, but then I figured I'm going to keep the bees enclosed anyway, like I usually do, so that way they don't pathfind somewhere else and get lost and disappear, which has been a thing with 1.15. I suppose it's going to get fixed in 1.16, and it looks like my bamboo farm just went off, and I forgot to shut off my minecart here. I get really bad about that. What I do is I usually go on an adventure or helping my brother do something, which, by the way, that reminds me, my brother and I, yes, we built a seriously large gunpowder farm. Nothing but creepers will spawn in this farm, and I will definitely take you guys over there and show it to you at the end of this episode, but for now, let's get back to the bees. So basically, I decided I'm going to build this bee farm here inside, somewhere. So I think up here in the corner, on this third floor will work fine. Another thing that's going to come into play eventually is the concrete factory. I may be moving it because I'm starting to learn that with realms, unlike third-party servers, which I'm planning on moving my server to a third-party server after my Realm subscription expires, my brother and I are probably going to pay for this one together, just because we play this game more than anything else now, because everything else seems to charge like crap tons of money for crap, or pay to win, it seems like, whenever you're playing with other people. So basically, there's a lot more lag I've noticed in this type of, in this type of server, so like the Realm servers. I don't know why. I wish Mahjong would do something about it. Maybe they are. I don't know. But for now, my concrete factory with the 0-tick pistons and stuff in it, it is really being affected by all the farms I have here. So I think I'm going to pull a page out of some of the people's videos I watch on YouTube, besides my own, that they do is they make their base with all the farms in it. So all these farms and like super smelters and stuff like that are at their base, and then they build their like factory stuff, the stuff that they use to produce stuff for their shops and stuff, like with these pistons and stuff like that. They'll put them in another area and call it an industrialized area and call it their own area. So I think I'm going to start doing that. So I might actually move the factory. I'll leave the warehouse portion just because it's got all my dyes and stuff in it. So if I want dyes, I'll have to take them with me, I guess. But I'm definitely thinking about moving this entire factory somewhere else, just so that way I don't have to deal with the lag spikes that it has to go through, because it gets really annoying to place a concrete powder block down, and it just freezes. So I've even tried a hotfix that somebody suggested with a redstone torch that seemed to help a little bit, but if I have if one of these farms goes off or something else, it's when it freezes up. Sorry about that, guys. My headset went out. As I was saying, my brother and I were here at the same time, and he was in here watching my farms, and when it started lagging in there, he was telling me that my farm had just gone off, my sugarcane farm. So basically for this bee farm, I'm going to do the outer perimeter in these planks, and I'm just going to place dirt blocks here in the center. Better go sleep real quick. Okay, so we're gonna fill this inner portion with dirt. Well, that wasn't enough dirt, so I have to go get some more dirt. And while I'm down here, I might as well grab the redstone components and talk a little bit more about the concrete factory. If I do move it and make an industrialized zone area for it, I'm going to do what most people probably do, and I think that's use mycelium, so that way I don't have to worry about mobs spawning in that area with it. Because mycelium will spread just like grass will if you place grass blocks. Can't remember exactly how many blocks I need. We're going to need some hoppers, so I need to make more chests. Well, I guess we're going to worry about that portion after. Actually, I think I do have a box in here that has stuff in it. Yeah. Let's place that in here. But that's definitely an idea, though, for the future, is to move the concrete farm. Because I had nothing but bad experiences with lag in these Realm servers. And I've done everything that Mahjong support has told me to do, which is like change this Realm world with another one, log into it, that clears the cache, basically. And I'll have like zero lag for maybe a couple days, and then it just starts to return because of all the components I've got going on in here. So is why. How dark does that make it? Oh, that makes it pretty dark in here. That's why we're gonna surround this thing with glass eventually. So basically this is gonna be a mixture of wood, glass, the red glass panes, and sea lanterns for the roof. As I get that far, I need to find out a spot that I want to put the door at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here's where we want the door. Go ahead and get the door done. And I'll probably make some wood stairs to go up here in this area. But pretty much what we're gonna do is something like this. Big windows. Obviously I don't have to do that side, I just have to place some oh, you know what? Let's do this right. So let's go up 3 high, right? Yep. I brought scaffolding with me just in case. Four and 4. It's a little bit tinier than the one I built in my creation world. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about this side because obviously that'd be a waste. This side too, the back side. So this helps save me some resources here by doing it this way anyway. And after this, the 4th layer will be the roof. Or maybe not. I might want to build this contraption I need for the automatic honey farm portion. Because first things first, I'm going to be placing a normal beehive in here. So that's why I brought these for, because I wanted to make this kind of look legit. So let's place these back here in this corner. Okay, and then I'll place the beehive right here on the side of this, probably on that level. So it's up a little bit, so they have to fly up a little bit, and plus I can put a campfire down below it. So let's put all the glass in and go from there. Hate it when I do that. Alright, I'm going to grab the redstone components and we're going to build the structure for the automatic honey farm, which I think we'll put on the opposite side over here, and then we'll just have a bunch of flowers out here so that they can fly around a little bit if they want to. I know most people like to make a smaller area for them to travel, but I plan on having more than one beehive. So I plan on having like beehives all the way around this side over here, and like multiple bee nests on this side. So technically in the middle is going to be nothing but flowers. So I want you to picture that, because right now I'm only going to have just the bee's nest. So we'll have to get the bee's hive later in the episode, because I have to harvest a bee's nest from the honeycomb, because you have to have 3 honeycomb and 6 wood planks to make a beehive. Okay, so yeah, I think this is gonna have to be a little bit taller for me to put the lights in and stuff. So let me go grab my redstone components and I'll be back. So first thing is first, place your chest. Then you want a hopper going into it. The next thing is we need to place a temporary block on top of the chest here. Basically what we're doing is we're creating a simple lock system. Basically the same setup that I used for an item sorter in my previous realm. And so right here, this is where the beehive is going to sit. And we're going to have a dispenser looking into that beehive. Alright, so I need to get my repeater out. A repeater looking into this block. And, okay. Yeah, comparator. Have a comparator looking into this, like that. Redstone dust. Just like that. So that one's done. The other one will have to be built once I have the beehive made. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and sleep real quick. So actually, I think I can go ahead and build it right now. I'll just go ahead and build the setup for it. So it's going to come out like 3 blocks here. And then we'll have another 3 blocks right there. And this first block is where the beehive will be sitting at. Right here is where we need a comparator facing into it. And then we're going to take some redstone dust. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to place a block right here to cut that off, because Apparently it takes 5 fillings of the beehive, or 5 fillings of the bees going in and filling the beehive up. It's the same for a nest too, I believe, before it's full. And then that'll let it know that it's full, and the dispenser will fill a bottle with honey and it'll go down into here. So now to lock this, we're going to take some temporary blocks. Okay, or not. Okay, so I totally had a brain fart and completely forgot the redstone torch down here. You gotta have that redstone torch down there. Now I think this will work. Yes, that locks it. And you have to leave this full honey bottle in here at all times. There always has to be this honey bottle here that's full, because if not, whatever you put in this dispenser will just get sucked on down. So it's important to note the honey bottle must stay in this top hopper. The bottom hopper doesn't matter. And so now we just gotta start building up the rest of this, and we can release the bees. I'll also have to get some flowers too. It looks like I'm only gonna have space for 2 in here for now, but I could probably expand this forward. That's probably what I'll do. But I really don't have the need to right now, because I just plan on using the honey myself, and my brother might, and it won't take very long for the honey to build up, so, to be honest. See, I'm not sure if I want to go higher than that. You know what? Let's go 1 higher. Alright, so I changed my mind about the roof. I'm going to make it out of half slabs, or bottom slabs if you will. And the lights are going to be hanging down from the ceiling inside. And I probably will have to... Well, no, I shouldn't have to. Yeah, because that's why I'm putting slabs on the roof, duh. Brain fart again. I'm going to put these ender rods hanging down from inside. I think that will actually look a lot better than the sea lanterns, which will stick out of the roof if I use half slabs. And it also possibly eliminates me having to put any light sources in the dirt. I really don't want to have to do that. So we'll see what that looks like when I get that far. Okay, half slab roof is done. Time to place in these ender rods to light the place up. Did I space that? Oh, yeah, I did. Oops. Good thing they're easy to break. Alright, let's check our light levels. As long as we have 8, we should be good. There's a 7. I might just have more of these hanging throughout here just to make sure the light level stays up. It actually adds to the effect of, you know, bees have stingers. May not be purple, but I just don't want any more mobs spawning in here. I did have a zombie earlier spawn in here, so trying to prevent that. Yeah, that should be good. Alright. Okay, so the next thing is to place the bee's nest and the flowers, which I have to go get flowers. We don't have flowers yet. It's unfortunate. So flowers are the simplest part of this whole build basically, because all you gotta do is take bone meal and, in my opinion, just basically bone meal a flower. One of the 2 tall flowers, so like sunflowers are one of the ones I usually do. Just get a whole bunch of those, because each bone meal will give you another version of that flower. And then we'll just take those up there and plant them. I think that'll be plenty. So we'll go ahead and store the rest of this bone meal and go back upstairs. Okay, so I placed, it looks like, about half the flowers that I farmed. Now we're going to place the bee nest, which I do know this bee nest has 3 bees in it. So, and it looks like it's already full too, so that's good. And they're going to come out, they're going to harvest the pollen. I want to keep these other 8 flowers just in case, but I also want to use them to breed, because I'm going to need 3 more bees to put in this beehive I'm going to try to make now. That's the thing that we're going to try to do now. So in order to harvest honeycomb or honey from a bee's nest, you have to put a campfire below it, obviously. And snip it, like that. It'll always give you 3 honeycomb. I'm just going to leave that campfire there because I plan on harvesting more honeycomb and more honey just from that one. Now I'm going to go make the beehive. And this is actually one of the most simplest things in Minecraft, which I overlooked a long time ago, but when it first came out, which is when I basically first started playing, was that you had to use a campfire to harvest anything from the bee's nest. But so now we got a beehive, and we're going to place it up here, just like that. So now we're going to have to breed these bees. I'm also going to have to fill my dispenser with bottles. Okay, got my bottles, but for some reason I'm only seeing 1 bee come out of this hive, and I know when I harvested it, it had all 3 of them in it because I got the achievement, but I've only seen the 1 bee coming out of it. And it looks like that bee just went into this new beehive. So, okay. Important to note, I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but I can only put 8 stacks of glass bottles in here. If I put more, like 9, if I fill all the slots, it will not harvest the honey. I don't know why, it just doesn't. So I don't know if anybody else has that problem. Maybe it's just this resource pack I'm using. If you know anything about that, please let me know. But other than that, I'm going to try to breed these bees, but before we do that, I think I'm going to grab some yellow and black blocks, and we're going to fill all this redstone component stuff in, kind of fill that in and make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so it's going on nighttime, so the bees will stay in their hive and nest. Now I have 2 bees in this, and 2 bees in this, because one of the bees from this one decided to take this as its home. I bred 2 of them to form a baby bee, which went into the beehive, which is good. That's what I was wanting anyway. So now basically I'm just going to fill all this in with blocks. Just to cover up and hide the redstone, if you will. Let's take that one down. Flowers! The flowers are in the way. Where did I place that at? I don't see how that placed. Okay, I guess it didn't place. I don't know. That was weird. I might have to make some more concrete just to fill all this in, but yeah, I'm basically just going to cover this all up so that way it kind of looks a little better. Okay, so I'm going to have to go up one block higher up here, I think, just to make this kind of legitimately belong. And I think that pillar is going to get changed as well. That just makes sense to do so. I don't think that'll affect it, but we'll find out here shortly. What are you guys doing up here? Must be some terrible pathfinding. Okay, so I can't place anything there. It'll be alright just to leave it that way. Just hope they don't come out the back. That'd be kind of odd. I don't think they can though with that comparator there. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, it kind of looks like a bee, right? Kind of. That's about as good as it's gonna get. I'll have to put like I don't know. There's not much I could put right here without. I guess I could put stairs, like wood stairs there. That would actually work, I think. And then we can do some sort of wood design here for the front. All right, so the build is done. Got a stair on the front there, just to increase the amount of yellow concrete on the front. And on the back side, to hide the redstone components from outside, I just placed another pillar of wood planks. Basically, the breeding is not going very well because I don't know what it is, but it seems like in realms, instead of like just having to wait for 5 minutes, you have to wait for like 20 minutes. Because the two that I bred, I've been trying to breed again, and after 5 minutes, and they won't breed. So, and maybe that's just bees, but actually it's not just bees, because I have that same issue with other animals too. So I don't know. We do have our first bottle of honey. It's not in here. It's in the actual hopper back there. That's the one we can take the honey bottle out of. So that'll start to happen a lot faster once we get more bees in there. We still just have the baby bee and the one big bee, adult bee, in that one, and 2 adult bees in that one. But that's basically it for the honey farm. The last thing I want to do for this episode is I wanted to show you that I did do my diving board for the tree farm. I just alternated the stones that basically, the brick blocks if you will, that were used to make the tree farm as well, and then just put trapdoors on top of all the top portion there, and then there's just a water elevator, a bubble column from soul sand in there if you will, and then I can just use my elytra to fly down onto the trees. So pretty simple. And the second to last thing is going to be, I don't know why they're coming out of the top. I guess I might have to fix that. It seems like they go in one side and they have to come out the other. I don't know why that is, because I didn't have that issue in my map, my creation map. But the last thing we're going to do is go to look at the gunpowder farm. Alright, so here we are in the Badlands area. This is where my brother and I worked together painstakingly and dug out a 50 block by 20 block section of the Badlands all the way down to bedrock. And I'm actually just going to go up into the tower. This is the collection chamber, collection chest for all the gunpowder that gets farmed. As you can see, it's empty because we emptied it out. I emptied out one of them, he emptied out the other. We got 2 of these created, so water elevators up to the top here, and this is the AFK spot. As you can see, we have eliminated all the spawns within this chunk. As long as nobody else is on in their area that's not well lit, we will have, let's see, basically it's like a half a double chest every hour. That's basically how much we're getting out of this farm. As you can see, there's a lot of creepers. A lot of creepers. Those structures down there, they're 12 high each. If anybody wants to know the design, I could share it with you. It's somebody else's design, obviously. But the thing is, I changed a little bit of a few things on it. Like, for instance, putting trapdoors on the top or the roof, so that way nothing spawns on the roof. And I don't have to put light source blocks on it at all, so that way we don't lose any spawns on the inside. This is not 100% like the guy says. There are still going to be chances for spiders and stuff to spawn in it, but that's only if you're down there next to it. My brother and I figured that out. But pretty much, that's going to do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Coming up, we're hoping to build, well, start on structures in the ocean. So hopefully maybe an ocean city coming up. I'm hoping to work on a treasure room on one of my other side projects for, well, it's a treasure pyramid to put my emerald blocks and diamond blocks in with a hidden entrance to it. And it'll be, you can get to it from my base, basically. Well, I can get to it from my base. Nobody else is supposed to know where to go to get into it. But stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next episode.